Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another Wild Rift video, and in today's video I'll be playing the new champion Caitlyn. So, oh boy guys, this champion is strong. I'm not quite sure whether or not it's broken or anything like that, but let me just tell you right now, it's incredibly powerful. Caitlyn is really good. In the beginning part of the video, I'm going to show you guys how to build Caitlyn. There's timestamps in the description if you want to skip to the gameplay immediately. And real quick, I didn't make full guides. My friend Xcoundrel did, however. I'm not sure whether or not he has uploaded them yet, but I'll put a link in the description to a full Caitlyn guide made by Xcoundrel, alright? So, let's get into it. There's so many things that I have to say about Caitlyn, by the way, and about the playstyle, but we're not gonna talk about the playstyle yet. First, about the build. So, Caitlyn works with crit. You know, I haven't tried full lethality Caitlyn yet, and what I mean with lethality is Yumo's Ghostblade, Duskblade with Raktar, you know, that type of build. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't say how good that build is. But the thing is, though, with Caitlyn, she sucks in the early game and she's good in the late game, and that is the reason that I haven't even bothered trying the lethality build, because you kind of want to have a late game build, right? Because she's a late game champion. So you start with the Infinity Edge. It takes long to get this item, so you know it's quite unlikely that you're gonna have this before the first dragon, but those are the weaknesses of Caitlyn. You know, the early game, you kind of want to play it chill, nice and chill, get to your Infinity Edge, and then you'll be a little strong. After that, you get the Glutinous Greaves. This allows you to have like the, you know, the physical fam that you need. You could actually also just go for the boots, you know, get tier 1 boots only, and go straight up for your Rapid Fire Cannon. About the Rapid Fire Cannon, it's not gonna deal the most damage. You know, don't get me wrong, it's not gonna deal the most damage, but it's just pretty nice to have that range with Caitlyn. It's just pretty nice. I mean, I tried Static Shift second item as well, but I just felt like, nah, I would much rather have the bonus range, right? I'll tell you about this more during the gameplay, but keep in mind, this build might change throughout the days, you know. By the way, if this video reaches 1,000 likes, I'm gonna play like 50 games of Caitlyn or something in this week, and I'll make you guys a new Caitlyn video next week when I've actually mastered the champion. So if you want to see more, make sure you give the video a like. So after the Rapid Fire Cannon, boom, you go for the Static Shift. It works perfectly with the Rapid Fire Cannon. The energized damage stacks, and you know, with the Rapid Fire Cannon, you're gonna be stacking up the energized faster as well. You know, that's the passive of the Rapid Fire Cannon. Also, at this point, you're gonna have your second ability upgraded a little more, so you're gonna be using more abilities, which is gonna allow you to stack up the Static Shift faster, right? After that, you go for the Mortal Reminder. There is another one that you can go for, which is Cerulda's Grudge. Make sure you get either Mortal Reminder or Cerulda's Grudge only as your fourth item, because they're not really worth as the third item anymore. Because the way that they work, they scale up with your level. You know, you get 16% up to 30% armor penetration. It scales with level. So that's why you don't really want to get them super early on. Mortal Reminder is going to be really good because in a 1v1 situation, you know, you're going to be reducing healing. Also in teamfights, it's just good to reduce healing from the enemy. Cerulda's Grudge, however, is going to give you slows. But the thing is, you don't really have a lot of abilities. Like it says damaging active abilities and empowered attacks slow enemies. You can't really utilize this one that well. Like, of course, with your first ability, you can utilize it. Your third ability already slows the enemy, so, you know, that's why I don't like the Cerulda's Grudge on Caitlyn. And then as your last item, boom, if you throw in the Bloodthirster, guys, you're gonna have 100% crit and you're gonna be constantly healing up. You're gonna have so much physical fam. The reason, like, there is a reason that I haven't put Guardian Angel in. Of course, look, of course you want to get a Guardian Angel if you're against a Rengar, right? Like if you're against a Rengar, you have to get a Guardian Angel as your last item because he's gonna one-shot you. However, against any other champion, there are other ways to survive with Caitlyn, with the second ability. I'll show you all about this during the gameplay, but that is why you don't really need a Guardian Angel. All you need for survivability is the Stasis Enchant. And with the Stasis Enchant, as I said, as long as the enemy doesn't completely one-shot you, like a Rengar could do, Stasis Enchant is gonna be more than enough, guys. More than enough. So don't waste your damage on the Guardian Angel. Get that Bloodthirster and absolutely dominate the enemy, guys. For the runes, you wanna get Conqueror. Yeah, the thing is though, like, Conqueror is just such a broken rune. You always wanna get Conqueror. Like, you know, normally you would think fleet footwork would be the move with Caitlyn. And honestly, it's not bad because, as I said, Caitlyn kind of struggles in the early game. But man, Conqueror just gives way too much. Like, it gives you that bonus AD, and when you have full stacks, you get a 7% bonus damage. Like, what the hell, man? So that's why Conqueror is going to be incredibly good on Caitlyn for that late game especially. Second rune, Hunter Vampirism. As I said, you suck early game, but with the Hunter Vampirism, if you get kills, if you get a few kills or assists, you're gonna get bonus attack damage and that physical vamp. That's the important thing about Caitlyn. Third rune, I have Adaptive Carapace here, and that's really just because the early game. This is a really good rune in the early game. Caitlyn has one of the lowest amounts of HP in the game, by the way, if you didn't know that yet. That's why the Adaptive Carapace is going to provide a lot of value with that bonus 50 health, and then, either magic resist or armor when you're under 50% health. This one is really just going to get you through that early game. As I said, it's really all about that, guys. Fourth rune, Sweet Tooth, because Sweet Tooth is broken. And then for your spells, you want to go for a barrier and a flash. So enough about the build, let's now get into the gameplay. Alright, on to the gameplay, and I just quickly want to say something. For the people that are watching this video in the future, not today but in the future, this is the first day of Caitlyn's release, so obviously it's, I know how to play Caitlyn and stuff like that, but of course I'll be better at Caitlyn later. So just about that, if this video reaches 1,000 likes, I'm gonna play like 50 up to 100 games of Caitlyn this week, and I'll give you guys a new Caitlyn video next week or maybe in 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes me to master her. And then, I'll be really good at her. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you give the video a like. Also, put down a comment under this video. It really helps the channel, and whatever. I mean, yeah, that's it. So, early game Caitlyn. There's like really one thing that you have to do in your lane, which is make sure you don't die. And easier said than done, but Caitlyn is paired up perfectly with CC champions like Lux, like Nami. You want to have hard CC, not soft CC. So Janna is not good. Even though Janna can slow the enemy, it's not going to be the best. Let me tell you why. Because Caitlyn's first ability is basically your way of winning or going even in lane. Because it deals a lot of damage, right? Like, it deals quite a lot of damage, but you have to be very careful with it though. Because there is a thing about the first ability which you have to be incredibly careful about, which is when you use it, it roots you in place, right? Like, look, if I use it, take a look at this. Am I going to use it? I want to show you guys what happens if I use it in the game, because it's look, see that? It takes time to charge up. And during that period of time, which is around, I believe, 0.7 seconds, you're going to be standing still. You're going to be standing still and not moving at all. So the thing that can happen is if you're against an enemy champion who has a skill shot, they can shoot the skill shot while you're standing still. So be very careful with using your first ability in lane, because it can actually cause more harm than it can do good for you. Trust me, guys. Ooh, unfortunately my Lux died right there. So keep that in mind when using the first ability, guys. Like when a Thresh is walking up to you, for example. Oh, look at this, by the way. Boom! You get bonus range when you hit the third ability. But when a Thresh walks up to you, it can actually... Oh, I sniped his ass. Oh, nice! Yes! I sniped that guy with my first ability. Did you see that? I flashed... Oh, that was so good, man. Damn. Oh. But the biggest... Oh, there is a Vi. I dodged it beautifully, actually. Now we're just trying to avoid her. She flashes on me. Unfortunately. But let me tell you the real power of Caitlyn, okay? Because what you're seeing right now is just, the early game Caitlyn. This is like, just poking with your first ability, poking with your passive, blah, blah, blah. But the real power comes with the second ability, guys. Like... The thing is, when you play against a Caitlyn, you have to get tenacity. Because if you do not, and you're against a good Caitlyn, you cannot even reach her. Let me tell you how that works. So, in the late game, like every time you upgrade your second ability, at level 1, you can have 2 traps on the ground. At level 2, you can have 3, then you can have 4 traps on the ground, and then you can have 5 traps on the ground. You can have 5 traps on the ground when you've fully upgraded it. Unfortunately, we're kind of overextending here, but let me just further elaborate on this, because this is what you have to understand about Caitlyn to really get good at her. Caitlyn is not the type of champion that should get close to the enemy and look for even trades. No, because if you do that against any other ADC, you're gonna lose, right? Caitlyn doesn't really deal that much damage per second. That's why she has the longest range in the game, right? She has the, of course, not longer than Senna, but she has the longest base range in the game. You need to utilize that. And if the enemy gets close to you, if they get close to you, she has another tool to counter that. You don't want to just fight them. You want to throw your second ability, which is this. See that? The trap right here. You want to throw it on the ground and walk around it. Okay? Now, there's a few things to understand about the trap. First thing to understand, the enemies can see your traps. They can literally see your traps. As you can see, wait. I can see the enemy Caitlyn trap right there. Did you see that? You can see it. So the enemies can see the traps. Second thing to understand, when you throw your trap somewhere, it provides you quick vision for like 0.2 seconds. And then when your trap has been put on the ground, after those 0.2 seconds, it doesn't give you vision anymore. So if you quickly want to check whether or not the enemy is doing the dragon, you can quickly throw your trap on it, but you're only going to get vision for like 0.2 seconds. So afterwards, it doesn't give you vision. So, a common misconception about Caitlyn's traps is to... Oh, nice. I made sure that Deluxe body blocked that, by the way. A common misconception is to use it like Teemo's ultimate or to use it like Jin's traps. You don't want to use these traps like those traps, guys. They're different. The difference is that they don't give long-term vision, and this is basically your only defensive tool, guys. You want to throw them. You want to throw them on the ground and walk around them. You'll see me do this later on in the game. Like, I'm not gonna talk more about this because I'll further elaborate on this later on in the game when I can actually show you what I'm talking about. But and now let's talk about the third ability. Actually, this ability, you should basically see it as like an escape tool, I would say. Basically like Akali's third ability, but not in an offensive way, more in a defensive way. So when an enemy goes on you, unfortunately, this is a really hard position for us. Yeah, we're getting ganked by 4 people. I mean, I'm trying to go for something here, but yeah, we just got ganked, whatever, right? But the way that you need to see the third ability of Caitlyn is an escape tool. So if an enemy is chasing you, you throw your third ability on an enemy, and what's going to happen is you're going to slow them, and you're going to get bonus range to hit like an attack. And the attack that you're going to hit is going to have the bonus damage from your passive. So another thing to understand, I'm going to try to not make this sound complicated because Caitlyn is actually quite easy to understand. The way that Caitlyn's passive works is whenever you basic attack anything, you're going to get a stack, up to 6 stacks. And then your next basic attack, like look, there's a stack, there's 2 stacks, there's 3, 4, and then 5, 6. And then your next attack is going to deal bonus damage. It's called headshot. She will headshot the enemy. Look, boom. Boom, and next attack, boom, is a headshot. As you can see, it deals bonus damage. So, that's of course one way to proc the headshot, but this is another way. Did you see that? When you hit your third ability on an enemy, you will get bonus range, and the attack that you're gonna hit is gonna be a headshot. Another way is just like that. When enemies walk into your trap, which is your second ability, you're also gonna get a headshot on them. So these are 2 ways to get a headshot, besides just basic attacking. Another thing to understand, when you're standing in a bush and hitting the enemy, you're actually going to get twice the amount of stacks than normal. You're going to get 2 stacks per basic attack. So, as I said, the traps are not only your defensive tool, but also like an offensive tool. Because every time an enemy walks into your trap, you're going to get a headshot on them. You're going to do bonus damage to them. So when you play Caitlyn, you'll... Oh my god, they're in my lane again? What is this? These guys are just camping my lane. Like, look at the top lane, look at the mid lane. They're losing every single lane just to keep ganking me. Why are they ganking me constantly? Like, come on. So annoying. And the ultimate, so the way to understand this ultimate, it's basically a better Akshan ultimate, if I would have to explain it. So it has more range. Every time you upgrade it, you're gonna get more range. And when you have it to the max upgrade, you're gonna have an insane range. Like, from super far away, you can assist your team with your ultimate. Your ultimate does not get body blocked by turrets. It does not get body blocked by minions. As you can see, you can just kill an enemy like that. It can only get body blocked by other enemy champions. So it's way easier to hit than Akshan's ultimate, for example, right? Here you can see me. Look at the way that I'm using my second ability. I'm not using them to be able to see where the enemy is. Look at this. I'm throwing them at like behind me. The reason is, if an enemy decides to dive me, I will just walk around my traps. I'll just walk around my traps and they won't be able to reach me. They literally won't be able to reach me, guys. It's so powerful. It's so... Okay, look, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Not the best example, actually. I got ganked here. Yeah, not the best example. As you can see, like, if you don't utilize your second ability, which I didn't do here, that's also why I chose this gameplay, because you can actually see horrible plays as well. By the way, I woke up at 5 AM to make the Jace and the Caitlyn videos, and I've been playing Caitlyn for 3 hours now, and that's where I got the video from. So, I had some stomping games, which weren't really fun, because I couldn't really teach you much about her weaknesses. Because there you could clearly see that a weakness of Caitlyn is, if an enemy gets on you, and you don't have your traps on the ground, you're dead. Because you cannot do anything. You don't have any tools to escape, to do anything. I mean, of course you have your third ability, but it's not a very big escaping tool. It doesn't really, you know, it's not that good. So keep that in mind. Of course, look, I dodged the Vi. Did you see how I did that? Wait, let's go back here. I want to go back in this fight. Look at the way that I used my third ability to dodge Vi's damage. Look, this is a very important one. Look. Vi charges up and I use my, look, third ability to dodge it. That was perfectly timed. So when an enemy tries to go on you, like for example, if a Jax wants to jump on you, if a Vi wants to jump on you, if Alistar wants to jump on you, you know, if these types of champions want to go on you, if Rakan wants to go on you with the second ability, you can avoid that with your third ability, guys. That is the strongest thing. That is basically the strongest way that you can use the third ability. By the way, look at this. I just got a triple kill, by the way. So that is the best way to use your third ability. Caitlyn becomes infinitely more powerful in choke points, by the way. You know, in places where there is not a lot of space, like the jungle, like right here. This is a good point to fight for me. Because what you can do is you can throw your second ability in these choke points and constantly root the enemies. You're constantly gonna root them. Every time they're gonna walk into a new route, guys. It's so damn toxic. Like, it's so annoying to deal with. I'm telling my Camille to not go for it because I have 2,300 gold. But for some reason, he goes for it alone. And of course, he's gonna die. I mean, that's expected. And yeah, they're probably gonna get Cloud Dragon for free. That sucks. Let's take a look at this fight. They're walking into a choke point. I'm gonna try to finish off an enemy. Boom! With the ultimate, just like that, guys. Oh, baby. So much damage. The ultimate is such a good finisher. A thing to understand about the ultimate, by the way, is... Wait, is that it deals a certain amount of damage. Look at this, by the way. Did you see how I just baited the Irelia on my second ability there? You should really carefully look at the ways that I'm fighting here, because of course I can explain to you what I'm doing, but the best way to really understand is to actually scroll back and look, because there's much more going on than you may think. Because I threw my second ability on the ground, I made sure that the Irelia would get hit by the second ability if she dives on me, and then also I used my third ability to get away from her. So, you know, I explained it here, but I really recommend you to actually rewind and really check out what happened, how I did it, and things like that. There's a Jace right there. Look at this, by the way. I think it's gonna start here, like the absolute domination in the jungle. So I have my second ability up there, as you can see. But I don't have that many right here, right? But look. I'm just gonna dance around the second ability. You guys seeing this? I'm just dancing around my second ability, so the enemies can't dive me. There is an Irelia right here. Instead of running away to my jungle, I do not. I run away to my traps. Look, he got rooted. Did you see that? He got rooted just like that. I'm running away through my traps. Look. I have 2 traps on the ground. I run away through my traps. Look, he got... And the only way for him to escape was to flash over the wall. He couldn't walk through there. He couldn't because there were traps. Of course, I place another trap. Oh. You can see the only way for them to avoid my traps is to walk through walls if I place 2 of them in the choke point. Man, this champion is so toxic though. Like, that's what I have to say about Caitlyn. Really toxic. Like, I can't wait for people to just completely one-trick Caitlyn. And oh my god, like the second ability is so annoying. If you're really good at positioning champions, you know, like champions that have to position correctly, then Caitlyn is the perfect champion for you. Because Caitlyn is all about positioning. Caitlyn is not like Jinx where you just basic attack all the time, right? No, no, no. It's all about positioning yourself correctly, using the right ability at the right time, and then the enemy is never going to be able to catch you. Never, ever. I mean, in the case that they do catch you, like they're going to be so far deep in the team fight that your teammates are just going to demolish them. I think to be careful of, however, is enemies that are unstoppable cannot get caught by your second ability, of course, right? So if a Vi uses her ultimate, it doesn't matter if I catch her with my second ability. She's gonna go right through it, so keep that in mind, guys. Look at this, like look at this. I have 3 traps on the ground. They can't reach me. Like they just can't reach me. Look, they have to walk all the way around it. Oh my god. It's just so crazy. Like, they have to walk around it, which buys me so much time to completely demolish them in a team fight. Yet again, look, there's an Aurelia right here. He can't reach me. He can't reach me. Because if he goes on me with the first ability, he has to go through a trap. He has to go through a trap, which is effectively going to root him for 1.5 seconds, guys. Oh my god. Man, Caitlyn. Insane champion, guys. Absolutely insane. Caitlyn is, by the way, not that good at chasing an enemy. Of course, you do have your ultimate, you know, to finish off an enemy. But the chasing itself, she's not that good at. Look at this, look at this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Also, this is why I tell you to get a lot of lifesteal in the late game. You want to get lifesteal in the late game, because in fights like that, you'll still be fine, because you're going to constantly heal up. By the way, this game is like over, right? This game is over. They really can't come back anymore. Because Caitlyn gets stronger and stronger in the late game. Her second ability becomes more and more annoying in the late game. Like, you know, as long as you just reach the late game with Caitlyn, you're gonna have such a power advantage against the enemy. As long as they're not able to avoid your second ability, guys. That's the important thing. Really curious what you guys think about Caitlyn as well. I think she's really strong. I feel like if people become one tricks on her, she might become broken, but I'm not sure yet. Not quite sure. Yeah, we're just gonna get a free dragon here. Let's take a look at this. I catch him, and of course they surrender. I mean, what else should they do? There is no way for them to make a comeback in this game. Like, when a Caitlyn is fat, what are you gonna do about it? Like, let's take a look at how much damage I did, guys. Let's take a look at how much damage I did. Come on. MVP, of course. 38,000 damage. I tanked the most damage as well, but just look at that, guys. Caitlyn for you guys right here. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be bringing out a Jace video later. And yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye-bye.